Whenever I host a kids' party at my house, there's always at least one kid that's gluten-free and one kid that's dairy-free. So this is my go-to cupcake recipe that everyone can enjoy. We're making beautiful chocolate olive oil cupcakes. They've got a really light, fluffy texture, and we've got a 3-ingredient olive oil icing that's just spectacular. We'll start with our batter. To a bowl, we add Dutch processed cocoa. Now, I like to use the Dutch process for an intense chocolate hit and really deep colour. Salt and chocolate are best friends. It enhances all those chocolatey notes. A light olive oil, so this is replacing butter in our cupcakes. When I'm baking with olive oil, I always go for a light one as opposed to a robust one. I don't want the olive oil to be too overpowering. There it goes. And some boiling water. This is actually our magic ingredient. What this does is it gives the sponge a really fluffy texture. So you're not going to end up with a dense, heavy cupcake. We just give that a quick mix. Okay, that's come together nicely. It's already looking really glossy. Brown sugar is my sugar of choice because it gives the cupcakes beautiful caramel notes. You can use a caster sugar here, it's just not as intense and chocolatey. Some vanilla for flavour. And 3 eggs. Eggs are fantastic in gluten-free baking because they mimic the qualities of gluten. They give your batter a really nice stretch. And they're also going to give it a really cloud-like texture, so it's not heavy or dense. In with the last one. And another quick mix. That's blended well. Onto our flour. I'm using a good quality Australian self-raising flour, gluten-free, celiac accredited, so you don't need to worry about any cross-contamination. And this has all the gums already in it, so you don't need to add anything else. One final mix. Our batter's ready. Now, before I pour this batter into the cupcakes, I'm just going to use this pouring jug so they're easier to transfer. Have a look at the texture of the batter. It's not very thick. You just want a nice loose batter. Super glossy, super rich. Okay, I'm only filling these cases 2/3 full because the cupcakes need room to rise. Just go straight in with our batter. How thick and glossy that is. Now, if you want to make these cupcakes ahead, they actually freeze really well. Just bake them, pop them in the freezer and thaw them out before your guests arrive. Okay, our last cupcake's done. These need to go into a 160 oven for about 25 minutes. Now, to check that they're cooked properly, just insert a skewer. It should come out dry. If it's still moist, pop them back in the oven for another 5 minutes. Now onto our delicious 3-ingredient icing. To a bowl, gluten-free icing sugar. Now ensure your icing sugar is gluten-free. Sometimes they do contain wheat starch, so just check the labelling. Dutch processed cocoa. I'm going to give that a quick mix before I add the olive oil. Again, I'm using a light olive oil here. I don't want a robust one or it will overpower the other flavours. Just drizzle it in and look at how quickly this comes together. Now, I've made my cupcakes from scratch, but if you want to buy a good quality premix, you can find great gluten-free options in store now. Look at how luscious and glossy that is. Who'd guess that's made with olive oil? Now, onto icing. Start with this one. Now, you can just keep these plain with some olive oil icing, or you can garnish them with your favourite nuts and seeds, or sprinkles for the kids. I love them with fruit and a bit of nuts sprinkled on top. So to finish, some raspberries. Raspberries and chocolate go beautifully together. 1 raspberry on top of each. And a sprinkling of pistachio. Oh, look at that. That looks like something you'd find in a patisserie window. Now for the tasting. that sponge is light as air. You'd never guess that's gluten-free. These just aren't for a kid's party. Make them for your friends and invite them over for a cuppa.